We should be live. How we doing, people? Say what's up if you are in the chat. Yes, I am solo dolo. Zach had a little emergency, so I'm solo dolo. I'm gonna be grading 3 Dynasty teams for you guys today. But say what's up if you're in the chat. You can see Matty Lowe saying Whiteboard Nation. Here we go. WG, fire up that whiteboard. You love to see it. Chef says, sup, Badaki, I just found out I'm about to join the club. Can't wait to meet the future chef. Hope you all have an amazing night. Hey, man, congratulations. That's awesome. I mean, fatherhood is amazing. I love being a father. I think it's everything and more. I'll be completely honest with you. To love a little person and watch them grow is pretty special. What's happening, Major Tutties? How you doing? How we doing, guys? Once again, trickle in. Say what's up if you are here live with us. I am going to be grading the Dynasty teams with you guys here today. And I'll do a quick little plug-in. If you guys want to get your Dynasty teams reviewed in the future, all you have to do is use our promo code LAN on the Flock Fantasy website. Okay, go to account and then link your Discord. Make sure you select the Mother Flocketeer, and that will unlock all the exclusive stuff. Not only getting your Dynasty team reviewed, but also getting so much more perks, which is our rankings, our scouting report, version 3 that is out now. So once again, grading your Dynasty teams. It's happening. Mort's Steel Mobs, he says volume kind of low. Okay, volume's kind of low, so that means I need to bring up my volume. Is that a little bit better? Let me know if that is better for you guys. Maybe that's too high. You let me know. But yeah, that's awesome, man. First of all, congratulations once again to Chef. And we've been going through the grading of the teams. Okay, better. Okay, TD Vulture, Michael said, yeah, that is better. Okay, that's awesome. I'm glad that is better for you guys here. All right, let's go and pull this up. What's happening, Michael J? Let's get these teams up and going here. And I'm sorry if I butcher your names. You know me, I'm terrible with names. But Moritz, I'm just gonna call you Morty. Morty, how you doing? Grading your Dynasty teams here, and you do have your sleep ID. So let me just get that set up really fast as I'm here. But what's going on here? Why am I hearing a whole nother audio from me here? Give me a second. Okay. There we go. There we go. Let me get this set up here. And then before I actually get into it, I did want to bring up some stuff that did happen so far, right? A couple of signings, if I'm not mistaken, a couple of extensions. Curtis Samuel signing with the Bills. That is very interesting. No doubt about it. He gets a 3-year, $30 million deal. I still believe they're in contention to get another wide receiver in this draft. But if they don't, this is going to make things very interesting moving forward there. A.J. Dillon expects to sign with the Packers. Unlucky for him. Joe Money Mixon signing a 3-year contract extension. That's pretty big. I would say. I would say that is a pretty big deal, getting Joe Money back on a 3-year contract extension. $27 million, $13 million guaranteed. Another reason why you have to believe that the NFL does not believe in this class. Joe Mixon, on the second half of his years, I guess the tail end of being a running back, getting that 3-year contract extension, even though you have the Trey Bensons, you have, I guess, the Braylon Allens, the Blake Corums of the NFL draft, they definitely want to extend that guy in Joe Mixon and not necessarily worry about having to get a running back in this draft class. So that is very interesting there, by the way. Just 3 things I wanted to bring up there for you guys, just to give you my quick thought process on there. Still a lot of things can happen in the NFL draft, which is still, only 42 days away now, if I'm not mistaken. So keep that in mind. But yes, back to Moritz. We appreciate you. Thank you so much for supporting. He said, hey guys, been casually watching you guys' content since I did my first startup 2 years ago. I also drafted Trey Lance. Unlucky, brother. I'm sorry. This is the first Dynasty League I joined that started 2 years ago. I drafted young but missed missed on too many guys and have been trying to build back and starting up with a QB room, hoping to compete sooner rather than later. Okay. League 12 teams, SuperFlex, full PPR, 5-point passing touchdowns, also including a 0.5 first down bonus for running backs. Okay. 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end, and a 3 flex. You traded Trevor Lawrence, Deebo Samuels, and Etienne in a 24 third to get Joe Burrow, Diggs, and a 25 first. Ooh, that is interesting. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the Joe Burrow side. You tear up at the Joe Burrow side. I know Stephon Diggs is an older guy. Deebo Samuel is a little bit younger, but not by too much. And you get that 25 first, I guess, for Travis Etienne. So I'm okay with that trade. Then you traded away Diggs and a 24 third and a 24 first to get 2 25 first rounds. I like that. I like that that trade, no doubt. So you got some capital. You have technically 3, I'm assuming 4 25 first potentially right now. Traded Rachaad White to get Saquon Barkley. That's also a really big trade. I don't know when you posted this, the 3rd. So the 6th, excuse me. So you did this before free agency. Saquon Barkley, new home value is skyrocketing now, which is phenomenal. So I think that is a good addition to your team now. No question about it. Was hoping to trade Saquon to a contender later in the year, but didn't get a deal done. Okay, well, there's still time, and that value can definitely rise. Has definitely risen here as well. So since I have a great quarterback room and ton of draft capital over the next year, including the 101 and the 102. What is the best way for me to get competitive soon? Okay, side note, I have a possible fluid trade deal lined up to move Anthony Richardson and get small plus for Ayuk and Jonathan Taylor. Okay, does this feel good to you? I guess it just depends. Like, if you're moving Anthony Richardson, you're getting Ayuk and Jonathan Taylor, are you getting, what's the small plus? The small plus is most likely not going to be a first-round pick. So if that is a first-round pick, I might be interested, depending on where that is, if we're kind of projecting that. But at the moment, I think I want to keep Anthony Richardson, and I want to continue to build in the future for that draft capital. Can I get 2 firsts for Anthony Richardson and 25 from that person? Small plus was like a 3rd-round area. No, you see, I just don't think that's enough. I guess Ayuk and Jonathan Taylor do equate to 1 first. Like, you know, Ayuk is equal to a first. Jonathan Taylor equal to a first. Maybe a plus, a small plus with JT. But Anthony Richardson, the community sees him as high and mighty. And no knock on Anthony Richardson. I do like him. I have plenty of Anthony Richardson. But I want to pivot and get as much value as I possibly can. And I brought him in multiple videos. A lot of people didn't like that. I think you could definitely get more. I will be looking more at the draft capital. But I understand looking to get competitive soon. So let me look at the team first. And let's kind of break it down from there, okay? So we can come here. Look at your team. What was the team name here again? It was Tex Corser, okay. Let's see, power rankings. All right, so you're the second team here. It looks like a fairly even league, 88, 85, 76. I guess that's where the big drop happens here in the second half of this league. 12 team. Okay. So you have Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, Anthony Richardson. Remember, you're trying to compete right now. So the quarterback room is phenomenal. 3 quarterbacks that you can set and forget here, no doubt about it. I mean, I don't really think you have to do anything else in that quarterback room. Yes, you can pivot and get some opportunity, which makes sense of why the Ayuk and Jonathan Taylor trade could be something. But let's see. Let's have a look. Trey Lance, DTR, Tommy DeVito, Mike White. Once again, you set and forget at that quarterback room. Phenomenal room there. Let's see where else you can get some value. Saquon Barkley, Kendre Miller, Rashawn Johnson, Ty Chandler, Isaiah Spiller, and Joshua Kelly. Good running back room, obviously, there with Saquon Barkley, Kendre Miller, and once again, making sense why that Anthony Richardson for JT and Ayuk does make sense bringing him in. And And if you wanted to compete now, I think you keeping Saquon is probably one of the best things you can do for this team, especially going to the Philadelphia Eagles. He's going to be getting a lot more opportunity in the goal line, a lot more opportunity to score, going into one of the best offensive line there. It's kind of crazy to say Saquon Barkley is not a New York Giant, coming from a Giants fan, but yes, Saquon Barkley is pretty great here that you have. I think we can definitely build at the running back room with that Anthony Richardson trade. Wide receiver, T. Higgins, George Pickens, Josh Downs, Jameson Williams, Treylon Burks. And look, it kind of goes down from there. Let me just double check what that. So 2 wide receivers and 3 flex. So you can start up to 5 wide receivers here, it looks like. Once again, T. Higgins, George Pickens, Josh Downs, Jameson Williams, Terry, not the best. Noah Gray, Daniel Bellinger, Jelani Woods, Tyler Conklin here. Look, I like this team. You're definitely being able to compete here. Let's look at these top 2 teams. Oh, you definitely can compete. Justin Fields. I know he has Gardner Minshew, Kenny Pickett. This quarterback room is not the best. Stacked at the running back room for this team. Once again, being able to start up to 5 wide receivers: Garrett Wilson, Olave, Waddle, Nico, Rice. If I keep saying that, it's because I'm reminding myself, okay, guys? So 5 wide receivers for them, Treylon. Trey McBride, okay. So you're the second team. Let's see, look at team 3. CJ Jordan Love. Okay, that makes sense there. It's all about that wide receiver room. I think you're going to have to continue to build on here. Man, and I guess we can go straight into the whiteboard here. You do have a couple 25 firsts, as you can see here. I wonder how Zach does that where he doesn't have all this gray stuff. But for me, you're just going to have it, okay? You're just going to have it. By the way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 25 first, and you still got your second. That is phenomenal. That is phenomenal. I really like this. So let's kind of break it down. Let's think of these scenarios here. So you have the 101, the 102. I wish we can take this gray stuff out. I really do. But it's okay. It is okay. So this is scenario 1 is stick and pick, right? At the 101 here, you go best player available. Well, what we can do is technically get another quarterback. So if we really wanted to, you can get Caleb Williams, which I don't see why you would need him, right? Marvin Harrison Jr. you can get as well at the 102. And then the 302, you get best player available, right? Best player available, 502, best player available. Now, since you technically don't need Caleb, we can swing this 101 for value. We can get so much more in return if you really wanted to get, a haul, right? And I think that's probably potentially what I'm going to be encouraging you to do here, because I think if you can get a haul for that second scenario is selling the 101. And what can you get? I think Marvin Harrison Jr. is the best bet. Can you trade back to the 103, 104, and then get something plus, right? So let's see who has the 103 in your league. Let's see. So Team 1 doesn't have 105. I mean, you can move back to the 104. Say 103 or 104, right? I think those are some good. Those are some good opportunities for you. Okay, 103. Excuse me. Oh, can you get a Tank Dell in the 103? Look, once again, we always say this is a starting point, but this could be a huge turnover. Can you send the 101? I mean, look, I think you can get more personally because it's the 101. You're getting Caleb Williams, right? Can you get Tank Dell plus the 103 plus something small, right? Like something small. Typing's hard. Something small. What is that something small? Can you get the 202? Right? Can you get that 202? Is that enough in your guys' eyes for that 101 pick, knowing that he's going to do it? Or what you can do is sell Anthony Richardson. I mean, this is, I'm liking this. This is really exciting here, right? So the 101 Tank Dell. Let's go to the 104 before I get ahead of myself here. 104. 104 kind of needs a quarterback too here. Who's this tight end here? He doesn't have any tight ends. Okay. The guy that has a 104, Kyler Murray, Kirk Cousins, he definitely needs a quarterback there. Running backs. Let me go back to this team. You don't have Zamir White. Gosh, this guy is really struggling here, isn't he? Can I get, I mean, I guess very similar scenario, right? Once again, you can definitely still potentially get more. But Drake London, new quarterback, which I doubt he's going to want to sell because I think this team has Kirk Cousins. The 104 plus, let me just close that. Plus something, right? I mean, maybe Chase Brown is not enough. I mean, Kirk Cousins and that Drake London stack is not somebody that he's going to want to move. But look, a starting point. You definitely want plus something small. Something small, right? Something small. I think this is a good starting point here if you're wanting to sell that 101, and I think you can get so much more. I mean, we've seen the first round, the 101 going for more. I mean, we can go back to this Tank Dell deal. Maybe that 102, that 202 can be even higher. Can you get Tank Dell, the 103 and the 112? Is that too much? Or the 107? Once again, a starting point, not the end. Just gonna write all this down so like you have stuff to reference back to when you come back to it, right? So these are some really good opportunities here, and I think getting Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be phenomenal. And look, that 103 turns into that 103. You can get Malik Nabers, right? Let's put names to this, right? You would have Marvin Harrison Jr. Then you would get Nabers here. Nabers, and then, best player available from there, right? Like, and that instantly changes your team when it comes down to trying to flip this wide receiver room for you. So now you currently have T. Higgins, George Pickens, Marvin Harrison Jr., Malik Nabers, and then the best player available in that second half of that pick, right? And you continue to build. Can you look, as much as we love this 25 first, you have what, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 26. So 3. Can you sell one of those first and get a wide receiver that has been on the low right now? Can I send a 25 first? I 25 first. So let's see. Let me this is wild because you have so many, right? Selling a 25 first, and then getting a Rashee Rice. If you want to keep those picks, you don't have to, right? Can you get a Drake London? London. Can you get a DJ Moore? Can you get a Puka? You get what I'm saying? Can you get all these guys that can come to this next level and help you? Because that's really going to be the case here. You want to continue to build. And look, I'm not necessarily saying that this running back room is something that you need to hold. You can definitely continue to grow at this running back room. But maybe we can find some other values in some of these guys down here, right? Like this Jonathan Taylor guy, right? I know we're going to get back to that Jonathan Taylor trade, by the way. So keep that in mind. David Montgomery. This guy needs. He has the 106. That Anthony Richardson trade. Let's go back to that Anthony Richardson trade now then. Okay, where is this at? So I know Anthony Richardson for Ayuk and Jonathan Taylor. Yeah. Moore says, yeah, I think my plan was to trade Marvin Harrison and trade either Richardson or Caleb. Look, I think that is a good. I think whichever one you can get the bigger haul for. I think personally at the moment you can probably get a haul for Caleb over Anthony Richardson. I could be wrong there for sure, but getting that value for either one of those wide receiver or one of those quarterbacks, and then building. I think the priority is getting a wide receiver and a running back here. I just feel like Anthony Richardson could be more than Ayuk and Jonathan Taylor. Maybe I'm not valuing Ayuk and JT enough. Ayuk could potentially go into another team, so that can definitely skew his value, no doubt about it. It can either lower it if he goes to a worse team or a worse quarterback, or it can rise if he goes to one of these contending teams. You know, like we've heard multiple sources of Ayuk going to the Jacksonville Jags. That will be interesting, but you know, I kind of like Christian Kirk in that slot. Anyways, what I'm saying is that I don't mind that trade. I think I want to continue to look more for somebody that I would feel more comfortable with, especially if you're trying to compete at this very moment. And what's crazy is that, like, see Travis Etienne, this guy needs a quarterback, man. Can I get Travis Etienne and a Tyreek Hill for Anthony Richardson? Is that too much to ask? Travis Etienne and a Jaden Reed, I think these are more like, let me put some more opportunities here. So I'm going to give you all the scenarios, brother, okay? Giving you all the scenarios. Sorry if my mind is not as fluid as Zach's. Because I know AR-15, Zach is very organized, but I'm kind of all over the place, but that's how my mind works here. So looking at team 10, it says, I know Tyreek is on the trade block, I'm pretty sure. Like, yeah, and once again, you're trying to compete. I still don't mind Tyreek Hill for those 2 years, but also building in the running back room. I would personally maybe rather have a Travis Etienne and a Tyreek Hill over Ayuk. But that's my personal preference. Maybe Zach loves that Ayuk and Jonathan Taylor trade. Once again, you can definitely use that fantasy hotline for us. This is a guy that, if I'm not mistaken, you traded Deebo Samuel to. So can you send... So here, send AR-15 for Hill plus Etienne. I mean, look, we can push it. Plus Etienne and Reed. Like, once again, it's a starting point. See where he's at. Can you throw that second round pick that you have? What was the second round pick that you have? Or you have that 302. Can you throw a 25 second? I'm happy to do that. AR plus a 25 second to get Hill, Etienne, and Reed. I'll do that right now. And what you do here is that you keep Caleb Williams as your QB3, right? You continue to roll and reset or you can sell the AR or sell Caleb Williams, right? Let's see who else he has here or what other teams we could potentially go for. This guy doesn't have any running backs. I mean, can you get Monty and then a Jamar Chase? This guy has the 106. Oh, be careful. AR, right? I really like Monty, right? I think Monty is going to continue to work. Plus Chase. I think that's a fairly even trade there, personally. You get a running back, and then you get Jamar Chase coming off, and that is, you have a heavy hitter in that. Once again, if you don't feel like that's enough, what can you add, right? What can you add? Something small. I want to put something small. I'm just going to put piece. S-piece. S-piece, right? Like, a small piece that if he wants a little bit more. I think these are phenomenal ways that you can build around your team here. And I know the biggest thing is that you want to compete, and that changes your team right there. You have Caleb Williams, Marvin Harrison Jr., T. Higgins, with Tyreek Hill, Etienne, and Reed, right? With Monty, Chase, and a piece. And you still have capital in the 2025, right? And some of these guys can come out of nowhere. Jameson Williams, right? I mean, obviously we can talk each and every one of these guys up, right? Jameson Williams, who finally saw a decent second half of the season there. You know, there's been reports saying that he's going to be taking the next step. How's that pan out for him? Josh Downs, once again, how can you pair him with Anthony Richardson? I would say Josh Downs is somebody I'm happy to throw in as a piece instead of my 25-second here as well, right? Or Josh Downs. Or Josh Downs, right? I think that is somebody we are happy to trade away at the same time here. So I think your team is set. It's all about capitalizing on whichever quarterback that you could potentially get the most value out of, and that's Anthony Richardson or Caleb Williams at the 101. Can I trade back and get the 303 and the 103, and the 104, which is kind of hard because both of those guys don't have that pick, but always trying to capitalize and get the best value here. I feel like this team is out of question here. Racco's out of question. Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, yeah. Let me know if you have any more questions there, Morty. I felt like that's pretty good couple scenarios there for you. You're just a piece or two away. I think my biggest concern for you, which I haven't mentioned, is the tight end position here. Look, Daniel Bellinger can definitely be a sneaky guy, just purely based on, you know, if Waller does retire, but that's a lot to lean on, and you don't want to lean on someone like Daniel Bellinger, to be completely honest with you. I'm just trying to find a tight end that you could potentially go. I mean, just trading back, getting a Brock Bowers within that trade, I guess what's more important to you, getting the running back plus the wide receiver or the tight end piece, because one of these pieces here at the 103 or getting the 104 could be Brock Bowers. You can get Neighbors and a Bowers, right? Like, that is another possibility here if you don't want to get if you don't want to get another wide receiver, right? So keep that in mind. Let me just see if you can maybe swindle a deal on one of these tight ends here. This guy has a plethora of tight ends. I mean, that is somebody you can definitely target. Gonna have to get into the trade room and see if I can get one of these to cook up. Yeah, 100%. How about this? We can go back to this guy's trade, getting Jamar Chase, David Montgomery, right? Can you throw him Josh Downs and then get a Michael Mayer? We love Michael Mayer. We believe in the next one. I think just building off of that, right? See, Monty, Chase, and a piece. A small piece can be Mayer. Michael Mayer. Once again, if he feels like that's too much value, AR throwing Jamar Chase here. Here's Josh Downs. Right? And especially if you're competing in the next level, I'm still happy to even go to the next wave here, getting Evan Ingram. Can I send a second? Can I send a second for Ingram, which I probably highly doubt you can. I doubt you can, but once again, it's a starting point. Trying to get, I mean, you can even go Dalton Schultz. Dalton Schultz pairing up with CJ Stroud. I'm happy to get someone like a Schultz there. I would say he's probably your best trade candidate, no doubt about it, is this team. The guy that you traded Debo to, if I'm not mistaken. No, it's not. I thought he traded Debo. I think it was another guy. But this guy, Lone Star, he's your best bet because he doesn't need a quarterback. He probably wants to move up to get a top 5 pick. He's just outside. He's not. I personally don't think he's going to be competing, right? Get Jamar Chase off his hands. Tell him to reset the clock. He still has his 25 first there. I'm willing to do that right away to get. Honestly, I'm really happy. I'm not really happy with Dallas Goedert anymore, to be honest, now that Saquon's there. But Dalton, Evan Ingram, Michael Mayer, I'm willing to invest in going into this 2024 season. I believe in the next step in Michael Mayer there. Jake still agrees to the 1 year deal with the Giants. Not that big of a deal, but whatever. Once again, let me know if you have any questions here. I'll leave you time, but hopefully that helps. I'll kind of bring this up again if you wanted to. I'll kind of zoom out there if you want to have a little screenshot or whatever that looks like for you. Before we move on, so we'll wait here. But as he's waiting, guys, if you want your team reviewed, all you have to do is go to flockfantasy.com. Use the promo code LAN. Go to account, link your Discord, and you will be able to unlock roster reviews. Not only the roster reviews, but also so much more. Our rankings, our scouting report, and everything that's coming out all throughout the off season here. So once again, join using our promo code LAN at flockfantasy.com. And we appreciate you guys. We appreciate you too, Morty. Sorry if I'm butchering your name. Once again, I'm terrible with names. And also use your fantasy hotline, right? If you want to get Zach's input as well, you can throw your team back in here and be like, hey, what are your thoughts here? Badaki kind of broke it down. Whatever the case may be, whatever you want, we can definitely continue to build. And if you get any trades coming through, use that fantasy hotline and we can help. Is Mortis more? See, I'm terrible with English. Maybe I'm just bad at reading. I think I am. But yes, we appreciate you. Thank you so much. All right, we're going to go to the next one here. But before we get to the next one, we did get a super chat from Rick Morty. We appreciate you. So would you trade Zach Moss and Antonio Gibson from Romeo Doubs and Jerome Ford? I'm skeptical. My running backs are Aaron Jones and Swift and Evan Hall. Yeah. I think it just depends on how you really feel about Jerome Ford and Nick Chubb. That would be the biggest thing for me. If you don't believe, or if you really believe that Nick Chubb is going to be coming back and being the Nick Chubb that he is, even though he does have time, I'm willing to take the chance on Zach Moss and Antonio Gibson. And if you're okay at the wide receiver position and Romeo Doubs, because he can be the wide receiver 3, the wide receiver 2, the wide receiver 4 at any given week going into next year with now Josh Jacobs there, Christian Watson, Jaden Reed, Dontavion Wicks, Luke Musgrave. I mean, he can be any type of target at any point in time. I really like Zach Moss' landing spot there with the Bengals, and Antonio Gibson going to be taking a lot of opportunity away in the pass catching game. And what we know about Antonio Gibson, he was a running back in college. Aaron Jones, Swift, and Evan Hall. I'm okay with this trade. I'm okay with this trade, Rick and Morty. We really appreciate that super chat, man. Thank you so much here. We're going to get straight into the next one. Guys, this is, by the way, not a live stream where we can answer all the questions, but we appreciate you. We do have another guy. I don't even know how to say his name. Why is it? What happened here? Just says you. I think it's like useless, right? Let me see if I can get his name. Why does it do that? Streamer mode. Maybe because I'm on streamer mode and I'm streaming it. Let me know if you're here. I think it's Uneasy Allies. Okay, yes, perfect. Sorry, I wanted to make sure I got your name right. I forgot. I didn't want to leave you hanging there, man. Do you have your sleeper ID by any chance? It's clearly that you have a sleeper. You have a sleeper league. If you have your sleeper ID, just drop it in this roster submissions so we can have a better look at your team here. And we can kind of give you some more advice, right? And I'll kind of break it down. Thank you so much for supporting Uneasy Allies. We appreciate you. Looking for advice on what to do, what to potentially do with the 101 and the 103. The person with the 102 needs a quarterback desperately, but he is a wild card that can do randomness, right? Since I posted, I traded DK for the 108 and Gardner Minshew. I know we'll come back to the landing spots, but was just curious as early though. Okay, let's see. Once again, drop that sleeper ID in the chat there or in the roster submissions. I'll definitely have a look here because it's a little bit difficult to view teams when it's like this. But until you do that, I'm going to pull up these images there. Because it's just a bit tough. And just put it on a YouTube channel if you once you submit that. All right, so Jalen Hurts. It's a SuperFlex league. It looks like Jalen Hurts and Derek Carr. Running backs, Devon Bijan, which feels really great at that moment. You also have Geno, Jarrett Stidham, Jamal, Antonio Gibson, Deion Jackson. Okay. I say really top heavy at the running back position, no question about it. I think the third running back you will have will be Antonio Gibson. Let me look at your, okay. At the wide receiver position here, Justin Jefferson, DK, Jacoby Myers, Jerry Jeudy. You can start up to 5 wide receivers with Jonathan Mingo. Okay, it really, really falls from there. Let me know if you put the sleeper ID there, brother. If not, all good. Just really want to give you the best possible advice. You have the 101 and the 103 here. Look, for me at the 101, yeah, I understand you kind of said best player available. I'm going Caleb Williams at the 101. Getting Jalen Hurts, Caleb Williams, and not necessarily worrying about Derek Carr. And if I'm not mistaken, you did say you traded away Gardner Minshew. Let me just pull this back up here. Since I posted a trade, you traded DK for the 108 and Gardner Minshew. Wait, so you traded for DK? Yeah, because you have DK on your team. Okay, so you got DK for the 108 and Gardner Minshew. Personally, we wouldn't have done that. I think Zach and I are both big advocates of not investing in DK Metcalf. Geno Smith is in question. No, traded away DK. Okay, so this is not updated. I think this is why we would want that sleeper ID, because it kind of really just shows. So you have the 108 and Gardner Minshew. So the new updated image and roster would technically not have DK on this team. Okay. So let me kind of break this down. 103, 101, 103, and the 108. Let's come back here and break down these scenarios here. Let's get this gray. Let's kind of break down these scenarios. So 101, you have the 101, the 102, the 108. Yeah, so look, you can like stick and pick here. I'm getting best player available, which is Caleb Williams. Right? At the 102, since you have a quarterback, you can go Marvin Harrison Jr. Sleep IDs in Discord. Okay. I'll kind of write this out first. And then at the 108, which is kind of just, let me just pull up. I don't know why I don't have my rankings up here in a SuperFlex league. I just want to once again give you the best possible advice when you kind of have that here. Just pull up my my rankings for you, and the 108 can be so many guys, right? That can be Ladd McConkey. That can be Ladd McConkey. That can be Mitchell, A.D. Mitchell. Depending on your league, that can be J.J. McCarthy, right? All depends on how that looks like for you. And you look, honestly, and that could be so many more names, but you kind of understand. Obviously, you follow us. Go check out our rankings there. But this is a huge, and it can go. I wouldn't say Brian Thomas. I think Brian Thomas Jr. does fall within that 106, 107 range. But let's just say Brian Thomas Jr. Okay, let's just throw him in the mix. But he wouldn't definitely be out of there. So looking at your team, now that you have the sleeper ID here, which could definitely help us coming into this. Let's have a look at this team, right? Let's change leagues. And you had Jalen Hurts on power rankings. Josh Allen. We got to find your team now here. Okay, here we go. Hurts car rental. All right. Starting from the top here, which feels a lot better. Now looking at your team in this format. All right, Jalen Hurts, Derek Carr, Geno Smith. I think I'm 100% investing in Caleb Williams at that 101, getting Jalen Hurts, Caleb Williams, having Derek Carr and Geno Smith, and even Gardner Minshew as a backup quarterback for the foreseeable future. Your QB3 is great. You know, I don't think you're not getting any value from Derek Carr or Geno Smith, unfortunately. And we can definitely, I just want to have a look at one of the worst teams here. It's a 10-man league as well, which is pretty significant. So that is going to be huge when it comes down to trying to solidify that quarterback room in a 10-man league. Running backs, Devon, Bijan Robinson. You really sit there with Antonio Gibson being that guy for you, that third down guy or that RB3. So I think that is a good running back. And you have up to, if I'm not mistaken, 5 wide receivers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The reason why we say 5 is because we like to start wide receivers at the flex position. Okay, keep that in mind. And there's only one wide receiver I'm comfortable starting on this team. That is Justin Jefferson, which is a huge problem. So I even might be looking at a different scenario here if I'm willing to chime in, obviously, of course, and then Kyle Pitts. So let's go to the whiteboard here. 108. The 108, the 101, the 103, 108, and you still have your 26 first. Looks like you're saying you were shopping JJ, which I think is something that I would definitely be doing. This is stick and pick scenario 1, okay? Let's look at scenario 2. Let's look at scenario 2, okay? Because scenario 2 is a little bit different. I want to give you all the scenarios you possibly can. Scenario 2 is taking wait, what was it? What was I thinking? Sorry, you have the 103. This is why that was confusing. Yeah. That's why that was confusing. Okay. Let's reset there. Because I was giving you the wrong advice. So the 103 still, you can still get a high caliber wide receiver in Neighbors. Right? We would definitely be taking Malik Neighbors here if you wanted to. At the 103, just really depends on you and your league. Malik Neighbors, right? Scenario 2. Okay. So now we kind of reset there. Or, which I personally not saying, like, it's up to you. You don't have to get Caleb Williams at the 101. If you really value Marvin Harrison Jr. over Caleb Williams, you can. You can get Marvin Harrison Jr. And then get the 103, which can be Daniels, or May. I personally like scenario 1, but want to give you all the best possible scenarios. And now, something that you did say, that you were shopping Justin Jefferson. That is something that I would 100% be doing, trying to tear down from Justin Jefferson, right? Tearing down from JJ. Because I think this is pretty significant when you think of what more can you get for Justin Jefferson? Can you get multiple picks in the top? You know, can you get the 104 and the 105 in this league? I doubt it, but I'm looking to tear down significantly here. Okay, and let's just look at, let me look at this first team, because this guy is, so this is who you traded DK Metcalf away to. Just having a look at some of these guys and some of these teams here. I think this could be the team. That could potentially be the team that you can go out and try and get some capital from. Look, I look here. Let's start off here. Let's start off with that team, right? The reason why I said I like this team is because of how much value you can get. Now, do you want to get into the top 5 of this draft, or are you just okay with getting a haul? Right? I think it just all really depends on how you really feel. Brandon Ayuk. Brandon Ayuk. What was it? Brandon Ayuk. Rashee Rice, and Tank or Nico. Right. For Justin Jefferson. Or not for, but you trade that away. Now, I do believe, and I would say this, you could potentially get more. What does that more look like? Is that maybe getting Brandon Ayuk and Rashee Rice for the 107? But I think I would rather have a proven wide receiver with one of these guys going there. Once again, I think you can get significantly more. I want to stay in the top 5 if I possibly can here when I think of selling Justin Jefferson. Okay. Here we go. Justin Jefferson for the 105 here. But he doesn't have anyone that I want. Like, yeah, you can tear down from Garrett Wilson. Like, is this person going to give you Garrett Wilson and the 105? I mean, let's write it down. Right? JJ for oh my gosh, for Wilson. Plus the 105. I personally think you should get more. What does that more look like? I'm not sure. Man, I don't want any of these running backs. Maybe Dalton Kincaid. But you have, if I'm not mistaken, Kyle Pitts. Yeah. Okay. We can just go straight for JJ for, the 105 plus a 25 first. And I think, once again, you can get more there easy if you really wanted to. Let me see how else you can pivot here. I mean, we have to be honest with ourselves. You're probably not going to be able to compete with this team if you don't have the wide receivers, right? You do have the running backs. You don't even have your 25 first. Who has your 25 first? That's also really difficult now because please don't tell me the top team has your 25 first. He has your third. Am I tripping that guy has his first? He said, appreciate it. I had to blow it up since my receiver room wasn't cutting it. I didn't even know how I made it to the championship. Hey, and that's okay, right? At least you understand where you're at. And I think it's all about getting value now for some of these players. Understanding that you're going to have to potentially pivot off of some of these guys. And we can even build off of the Bijan Robinsons, the Vaughn A chains. I'm looking to pivot and blow this team up to get as much capital in 2025. Or maybe in this draft, right? Can I get the 102? Can I get the 104 in this draft? So selling, I think, let's just say like scenario 4 is blow up team. Sell Justin Jefferson Justin Jefferson, Bijan Robinson, Devon Achane. Those are the 3 guys that I want to be selling, and I want to get a massive haul for. Look, I'm keeping Kyle Pitts. Now with Kirk Cousins, I'm keeping. That's really it. That's all I'm keeping. Because if you understand that you're not going to be selling or competing, and it's time to pivot, then this is probably the best pivot option that you could potentially do, is blowing it up and getting first. Bijan Robinson, I want to get into the top 5. Devon Achane, I want to get into the top 5. Justin Jefferson, I want to get into the top 5. And these guys are multiple picks, right? Whatever that looks like, or maybe even tearing down to players. So I think Justin Jefferson is worth 2 to 3 first-round picks. I don't know why I did that. 2 or 3 first-round picks, depending on how early it is, right? Bijan Robinson, I would even say the same thing. I think all of these guys, for me, Bijan Robinson is worth 2 to 3. For me, I don't think you can get 1 first. I think you can get 1 first. Let me just put round because that's a little bit confusing. Right? I think you can just get 1 first-round pick for Devon. Wherever that's at, I think that's exactly how you're potentially going to need to be trying to build this team off and taking it to the next level, because, man, it's going to be really hard to compete with this team. You're sticking and picking here and getting best players available at the 101, the 103. Once again, 101, Caleb Williams, Malik Neighbors, and then somebody else of value at the 108, right? And then if that 108 becomes significantly important for somebody that they want and you can get so much more out of, I'm doing it. I think everyone's pretty set here. Look at this guy, Trevor Lawrence, Sam Howell. He doesn't have a QB2. If you have the 108, right, hear me out. If you have the 108 and J.J. McCarthy, hypothetically, he's a Broncos fan. J.J. McCarthy goes to the Broncos. Can I get Drake London and some more? You need a quarterback. Can I get Drake London? Maybe Drake London and a first? Once again, I know it sounds crazy, but these are starting points, right? Jalen Waddle is somebody I've been saying to pivot off of. Can I get Jalen Waddle? I definitely want, in order, Drake London, Jalen Waddle, and then Jordan Addison would be the 3rd guy I would personally want out of this team. Okay, so Drake London, a first maybe, and you give him J.J. McCarthy at the 108 because he needs him, right? And I think that is something that can definitely work out in your favor here. This guy doesn't necessarily need a quarterback. Once again, a 10-man league is a little bit more difficult when you think of, here's the 104. Doesn't necessarily need a quarterback, but he has the 104, so he's going to be building off there. Easy, man. Let me know. Oh, wait, Serge. I was Serge. Easy. Let me know if you have any other questions if you're in the chat here. Matt, I agree. I was telling a lot of people to sell, and I was getting roasted for it, to be honest with you. But look, I mean, they can get another quarterback. Vikings can trade up and get a J.J. McCarthy, and then it's a whole new thought process with Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. So I just think that his value was definitely high at the time, and I think you could have sold him and gotten some value. But Easy, let me know what you think. If you have any more questions, once again, use your fantasy hotline. You have been set up there, if I'm not mistaken. But this is a blow up team, in my personal opinion. You have up to 5 wide receivers, only 1 wide receiver that I'm willing to start here. You have some good draft capital, but trying to get back into that first round in 2025 or 2024 would be really, really important. Lock Jones competing for Q. You want Giants sell Drew Lock? Sorry, just reading the reports. Giants sold Drew Lock on competing to be the starter. Unlucky, huh? Drew Lock as a Giants quarterback? What a fat GG's. I have offers for Cousins, Puka, and DJ Moore. Or St. Brown and Reed with a couple of seconds. For Justin Jefferson? So Kirk Cousins, Puka, and DJ Moore. Or Amon-Ra St. Brown for Justin Jefferson. I'll be okay with that. So if you're telling me right now, I'll be honest with you. Do I even want Kirk Cousins? Respectfully, not saying like he's going to be bad. But if you're telling me I can get Puka, DJ Moore, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Reed, like take Kirk Cousins out. Wait. Before that, if you're saying that's on, if you have a trade for all those guys in one trade, I'm willing to do that right now. You should press accept. But if you're telling me you have a trade off for Kirk Cousins, Puka, and DJ Moore for Justin Jefferson, I would rather take Kirk Cousins out, knowing that I have the 101 with Jalen Hurts and Derek Carr, Geno Smith, and Gardner Minshew, and take Puka Nacua, DJ Moore, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Jaden Reed if I were you. And if you have to send somebody else to that person for Justin Jefferson, I'm willing to do that right now. Like, throw in, I actually don't care who you throw in outside of Bijan Robinson and Devon. Send him Derek Carr. Send him Geno Smith. Send him, Noah Fant. I'm willing to do that trade right now. Let me know if you could potentially do that or what you're thinking. Because if you have those wide receivers on this team, get Caleb Williams, that's a brand new team. Think about it. Jalen Hurts, Caleb Williams at the 101. Bijan Robinson, Devon Achane as your starter. Then you have, hypothetically, Puka, DJ Moore, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jaden Reed, and you have the 103 to get Malik Nabers. That's your 5 wide receivers right there with Kyle Pitts. If you have a superstar offer for a crazy offer for Justin Jefferson, like you're saying right now, I'm doing that trade. And I love Kirk Cousins, and I think he's going to be phenomenal at Atlanta. But for me, since I don't really need the quarterback, and yeah, like if Jalen Hurts or Caleb Williams goes down, and yeah, my backup quarterback is going to be Derek Carr or Geno Smith or Gardner Minshew, is probably not going to be the sexiest thing. But the wide receivers significantly make up for that, which is phenomenal, and which I'm willing to do coming in if you do have that trade offer on the table there. But appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. My mouse died, so I'm just plugging in my cord here. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Yeah, Maddie, it is 2 different trades, but I'm saying, like, if those 2 different trades, hypothetically, were on the same team, and can I get Puka, DJ Moore, St. Brown, and Reed, I'm doing that. But, like, even if the Kirk Cousins, let's look at the Kirk Cousins, like, let's break it down. You're here with us, right? They can go to our last one. So this guy has Kirk Cousins, and he is sending Kirk Cousins, Puka, and DJ Moore. Puka and DJ Moore. Keep Kirk Cousins. I want another wide receiver, right? Give me Puka, Chris Olave, and that may sound ridiculous, right? That may sound absolutely absurd, but you don't need Kirk Cousins, and he's probably trying to sell Kirk Cousins on the low because he's never, or on the high, because he's never going to start Kirk Cousins over Lamar Jackson and Kyler Murray, right? So you keep Kirk Cousins. I don't want your pity pat pays. Because I'm getting Caleb Williams. The second guy was St. Brown and Reed. Let's find this guy. St. Brown and Reed. Did I miss him? Okay. This is team 1. This is Thanos. So Amon-Ra St. Brown and Reed for a couple of seconds. I don't want to do that trade with that guy. Give me CeeDee Lamb and Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jaden Reed. Sure. Once again, maybe that's absurd. Maybe I don't think you should be trading with this guy regardless, personally. I don't want to trade with him, but I think your best bet is trading with the second guy, or the first guy, excuse me, and trying to get Puka, DJ Moore, in one of these guys. I mean, he's trying to do a 2-for-1 for Justin Jefferson, but it's probably going to really hurt him in the long run. But that's me. I hope that helps, man. We appreciate you. Thank you so much, Uneasy. Once again, guys, if you want to use and get your team graded by myself or reviewed by myself and Zach, all you have to do is sign up with the promo code LAND. Okay, sign up with the promo code LAND, get 30% off at sign up. And then what you can do is go to your account, link your Discord, and unlock the roster submissions tabs, as you can see here on the Dynasty on our Discord here, and then submit your roster just like everyone else, and we'll definitely go and review your team here. So we really appreciate you guys. I do have one more team to review, the last one of the day. If I'm not mistaken, it's Kevin. Well, it's Kevin. We're looking at your team. Let me just pull up your sleeper ID, get that all set up before. And what was Kevin? Let me know if you are in the chat. But if not, I know once again he is in one of our follower leagues. I think we definitely made a couple of trades. I think him and Zach made a couple of trades as well. So love the advice. We appreciate you, Uneasy. Thank you so much. So what was Kevin's team is up here. I'll give you this screenshot, by the way, Uneasy, to see all these if you want, or just bookmark it, whatever you like, just so you can see there. Let me close all these guys up as well here. All right, well, it's Kevin, man. Let me know if you're in the chat. If not, we're going to go straight into it, and you can definitely watch this later. He said, hello, fellas. This is Kevin for the Follow League. Whoa, it's Kevin. This is one of my main home leagues. Please help me decide if there's any more moves I should make going into the next year. I finished 4th this past year in the league's first year. Okay. It's a 1-quarterback dynasty, non-tight end premium, start 8. Also, I promise I'm not bragging about my team. I understand Keep Trade's cut has it ranked highly. I would just like some advice and any more moves I can make to improve my team and change chances to go all the way. I have the 102, the 103, and I've been grabbing neighbors. I'll be grabbing neighbors, but then with the 103, I already have Laporta, so struggling if I should trade. If I should take Brock Bowers or Rome or Doomsday, any advice is great. Team name is Hunters. Updated. Team name is interested. Okay, is interested in the 103. Vince is interested in the 103, wondering if you can gauge potential trades that can help me get young but make sense for me too. Okay, we definitely can do that. How you doing, Mr. Bakes a lot? How's fatherhood treating you? Hope baby's doing well. Fatherhood's great, man. Thank you so much. It's been amazing so far. Okay, the Hunters. Let me just double check that name. Hunter. The Hunters. Okay, Anthony Richardson, Joe Burrow. Remember, this is a 1-quarterback start 8. So what's that? 1 quarterback, 2 running backs. What's that? 2 wide receivers, a tight end, and a flex. So maybe 2 flex. Yeah, that's what it looks like. So once again, 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, and 2 flex is what I'm seeing here. Or 3 wide receivers, however way that may look. Anthony Richardson, Joe Burrow, phenomenal start there. I think this is great. You don't have to worry about it. And this is what, a 12-man? This is a 10-man. Okay. This is a 10-man league. Joe Burrow, Anthony Richardson, you both set and forget. A-Rich with the high upside. Joey Burr should be good. Jahmyr Gibbs, Devon, Josh Jacobs, James Cook. Oh, my goodness. This is a phenomenal room. I absolutely love Gibbs, Devon, Jacobs, and Cooks for your running back room. Wide receivers, Justin Jefferson, Garrett Wilson, Jalen Waddle, Michael Wilson, Wan'Dale Robinson, and Treylon Burks, with the tight ends being Sam Laporta. Let's go to the team that he wanted to trade for. He wanted to trade with, which was Vince. Okay. Well, he's definitely not here. Let me just read this again. Oh, yeah, okay. But he said he has the 103. Teenage interested in the 103. Man, I wish I can help you, Kevin, if I knew who that was. Doesn't look like his name is there. Unless he changed his name. Man, that's frustrating. Because we would definitely help you there. Once again, Kevin, if you're in the chat, doesn't look like he is. Use your fancy hotline, Kevin. We can definitely help you here. Which makes it difficult because you kind of wanted that advice specifically for that, right? Like some advice on any moves I can make to improve my team and any changes to go all the way. Chances to go all the way. Four wide receivers, 1, 2, 3, 4. Man, I mean, I'm not necessarily sure how much better you can get. Look, we can definitely pivot. Let's talk about pivoting off of Garrett Wilson and Jalen Waddle. If we're going to be really nitpicky here, can we get heavy hitters? Not saying Garrett Wilson and Jalen Waddle aren't heavy hitters. I want to get up to that upper echelons tier. I want to get the Jamar Chases. I want to get the A.J. Browns. I want to get the Amon-Ra St. Browns. You know, those are the guys that I would want to try and get here instead of having, CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase. This guy is, oh boy. That guy is, oh boy. He doesn't have running backs, though. He doesn't have a running back. Okay. I think this is kind of the thought process where I would potentially want to go. Let me continue to look at some teams here for Kevin. Kind of break it down. Puka. I honestly want the top of A.J. Brown. This guy has all the running backs in the world, it looks like. All right, Kevin. This is my thought process here. Let me look at this team. Brees, Joe Mixon. Let's look at this team here. And the only reason why I say this is because let me open up another tab for Keep Trade Cut here. Because what I really want to do is bring up these rankings in the community and show you what that looks like. Because that's how high I want to get. And we're nitpicking here. Garrett Wilson, wide receiver 7. Can I get a Amon-Ra who's my wide receiver 4? And who's wide receiver 4 in the community? Can I get a Jamar Chase? Can I get a CeeDee Lamb? Right? And I think that's what's really important here when you think of this team. And to be honest with you, respectfully to Justin Jefferson, how much can we trust in him now without Kirk Cousins not being there and them coming into a new quarterback under center? I'm not saying that he is going to be struggling, but I think the consistency of what he was doing with Kirk Cousins is no longer going to be there. So maybe can I pivot off of Justin Jefferson, who is currently in the community, still the wide receiver 1, and I would say in a lot of people's rankings, maybe even the wide receiver 3 behind Jamar Chase and CeeDee Lamb. Okay, can I pivot to Justin Jefferson and get CeeDee Lamb? Right? Can I get a CeeDee Lamb? So I get Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb and then get somebody small. I doubt, when I say somebody small, you're not going to get Drake London. You're not going to get a Michael Pittman in addition to this team. I'm actually really happy with just a pivot. Justin Jefferson for CeeDee Lamb, with I believe is going to be a more consistent thought process there. I could be wrong here, but you let me know, Kevin, in your fantasy hotline when you're watching this, if you would rather do something like that. What about a Jamar Chase? Let me just find Jamar Chase, which he might be up higher. Oh, well, Jamar Chase has CeeDee Lamb. I mean, he's right in front of my face. I mean, I'm happy to pivot from Justin Jefferson to Jamar Chase and CeeDee Lamb. Maybe some people don't like that. Maybe you don't like that. That's okay. Think about the long-term success CeeDee Lamb and Jamar Chase is going to have with their quarterbacks of the future for the next 4 to 5 years. I guess maybe CeeDee Lamb could be in question with Dak Prescott being an older quarterback. But can I get Jamar Chase and have the stack there with Joe Burrow? That would be really, really sexy there and really give you something to the next level. Now, Garrett Wilson, I'm trying to pivot up to an Amon-Ra. Can I give that person Garrett Wilson for Amon-Ra St. Brown straight up swap? If you really have to do something a little bit more, I'm not trying to give any of my seconds. I'll be honest with you. Maybe giving Garrett Wilson and a third would be enough. But, you know, let's go to the whiteboard here. Let's go to the whiteboard. And let's look at these draft picks that you have. You have the 101. All you have is the 102 and the 103. Okay? So 102, 103. That is Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors. And honestly, I would do Rome Odunze. Odunze. Because this is not a tight end premium, right? You have Sam Laporta, who's a tight end one. You have Justin Jefferson, who's the wide receiver one. You have Jahmyr Gibbs, who's the RB2. I mean, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 4 running backs in the top 12. Like, think about that. You have 2 running backs in the top 10. You have 3 wide receivers in the top 10 as well. Jalen Waddle, right? I mean, what is he? Okay, top 13 according to Keep Trade Cut. This is a phenomenal team. Once again, nitpicking on how we can get better because that's what you want. That's what you want out of this. How can we get better? Let's just start with the stick and pick and Malik Neighbors and Rome Odunze. You go best player available, no doubt about it. Justin, and then this will be your team, right? Because you have start 4 wide receivers: Justin Jefferson, Garrett Wilson, Jalen Waddle, with the option of starting Malik Neighbors and Rome Odunze there. That's a phenomenal team, and you don't really have to do anything depending on. Well, we all know I think Rome Odunze and Malik Neighbors are going to be a top 10 picks in the NFL draft. So you're kind of buzzing there already. But if you wanted to move, I'm not moving these picks. The 101, the 102, the 103. Look, you can. I'll give you that scenario. Let's give the scenario of moving the 102 and the 103. Right? Because it's not something that I would want to do, but if I can get tearing up, if I can tear up somehow to, and in any way, CeeDee Lamb, Chase, Amon-Ra St. Brown, I'm willing to do that right now. For either one of these picks, can I get the 102 for CeeDee? Maybe you can't. But can I add something to that? Can I throw in one of these? I would do this in a heartbeat. Can I throw the 102 plus Kevinh3? Look, once again, it's probably not enough for this, but it's a starting point. For CeeDee Lamb, Chase, or Amon-Ra, right? Let's go back to this guy's team. Like Amon-Ra here, Travis Etienne, Rashad White. So maybe that Kendre Miller trade is not going to be as exciting for this guy. Jonathan Taylor, Aaron Jones, Devin Singletary. Now, I think a trade like this could potentially happen if you're willing to give up. I mean, we can throw James Cook in. Do you want to keep the top 3 and give James Cook? Let's swap that around. I think that can be really helpful for both guys. So James Cook. And I love James Cook. I'm the James Cook guy on this channel. Right? Same thing. Let's just copy this for the next players as well. You still have the 102, you still have the 103, but what do? You trade up for CeeDee Lamb or Jamar Chase. Even if you have to give up, I'm not trying to give up Jahmyr Gibbs. I will be willing to move Devon, in my personal opinion. But if you don't want to do that, you don't have to. Okay. Once again, just give you a starting point of tearing up to getting these wide receivers, tearing up to get wide receivers, right? And if you have CeeDee Lamb, for example, or let's just say CeeDee Lamb and Amon-Ra, that is phenomenal if you wanted to trade away your draft capital. Now, scenario 3 is trading away Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson, scenario 3. Okay. What can I get for Justin Jefferson / Wilson? Because I think we said we were happy to, once again, nitpicking. Okay. Nitpicking on trying to tier up from these guys. Sometimes, like, look, and if some of these things don't happen, that's okay, because you still have 3 phenomenal wide receivers with 2 wide receivers that are coming in. And maybe this doesn't make sense for some people because we're just pivoting. But we're pivoting to what seems like a better situation or a little bit more consistent basis, right? And it's the exact same names. Pivot off of Justin Jefferson to Chase. JJ to CeeDee. Wilson to Amon-Ra St. Brown. Wilson. I would do A.J. Brown. To A.J. Brown. I'm trying to think of other players in that tier. I think Puka and Wilson are in the same boat. I would go for A.J. Brown personally. Gosh, Drake London, wide receiver 9 right now. That is crazy. I'm not saying it's bad. Is it time to sell? I think it might be time to sell. I don't think we've ever seen that. I mean, I won't be surprised if he goes higher than A.J. Brown and Garrett Wilson. Anyways, I'm sidetracking here. Jalen Waddle. I mean, Atlanta is stacked. I get you, Justin. But, like, wide receiver 9? I love London. But now I'm pivoting. And this is why I'm always thinking about pivoting when it comes down to these players. If someone is valuing Drake London as much as A.J. Brown, respectfully, what has Drake London done? Nothing. He doesn't have the quarterback. Give me A.J. Brown. And yes, the age difference is significant. But so is the fantasy points. To a lot of mouths to feed there. But anyways, a whole nother conversation that's not part of it. Right? JJ to Chase, JJ to CeeDee, Wilson to Amon-Ra, Wilson to A.J. Brown, Waddle. And I think Waddle is going to be in the same boat. I don't think we can necessarily pivot to too much here, but I'm trying to think of more names here because you're going to have Malik and Rome Odunze. I doubt you can get the 101. Oh, man, Waddle. You're trying to compete. You're trying to compete, right? Waddle to Hill. I know it may be difficult for this one, but once again, a starting point. What does that look like for you? Getting somebody that's a little bit more consistent on a week-to-week basis. I would say Waddle would be doable to A.J. Brown just based off of his age, personally. I think that's as far as I want to go. I don't want to tear down. I really don't want to tear down at any point in time. And I don't think you can necessarily get any better than where you're at currently now. You're just tearing up to the next person because you're tearing up to somebody that may be a little bit more consistent, right? I mean, I can nitpick and tell you to sell Devon for a Bijan Robinson or whoever you like, right? But for me, I rather stay because you have Josh Jacobs, you have James Cook, and I think that is a phenomenal team so far, Kevin. And once again, use your fantasy hotline. I know you wanted to get better, and I wish I can help you with that team. That's just not his team, Vince. Yeah, Vince. It's probably his name on sleep. I mean, I guess this is the sleeper name. I just don't get it. Interracial slurs. Oh gosh, that's hilarious. Man, I wish I can help you there. I wish I knew that guy's team name because I wonder if he has one of these. I would say this: if he has any of those guys that I've mentioned here, I'm willing to do that. Okay. But we appreciate you, Kevin. Thank you so much, guys. Guys, once again, if you guys want your team reviewed, all you have to do is sign up at flockfantasy.com. Use the promo code LAND. Choose the Mother Flocker tier, and you unlock the Discord. You unlock the roster submissions. You unlock our fantasy hotline, and you unlock so much more. Okay, you get our scouting report, version 3, and that's going to be updated next month as well after the NFL draft. So definitely keep that handy. And we appreciate you guys. Okay, these are the top three, not top three. These are the three guys I was doing today. Morty, Uneasy, and Kevin. So we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for all the support. And we'll definitely be doing this again next week, beginning of the week. Okay. But yeah, we appreciate each and every one of you. Make sure you drop a like. That really helps the channel here. And we'll see you next week. Love.